doing that? Thank you.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
Please tell me you're getting this on video.
Yeah, Kent's over.
Please tell me you're doing that? Thank you.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
Please tell me you're getting this on video.
Yeah, Kent's over.
There'll be new ones, but that big one.
Tonight, the desperate search for the missing after deadly floodwaters swept through central Texas. Officials in Kerr County, north of San Antonio, say there are at least 13 fatalities and more than 20 children unaccounted for at a summer camp, issuing a disaster declaration amid catastrophic flooding.
On a day which is usually for celebration, it's a very tough day in Texas, and it was a destructive flood, taking property and sadly lives.
Homes washed away, floodwaters swallowing buildings and vehicles. After more than a month's worth of rain fell since the morning hours.
This came at night when people were asleep in bed. Please pray for our community.
Dozens of water rescues along the Guadalupe River.
We have a few steps right here, and I can only assume that there was a house attached to it.
The river rising to levels not seen in decades, according to the National Weather Service, rising from 7 to 29 feet in just 4 hours, reaching the second highest level on record.
This happened very quickly over a very short amount of time that could not be predicted.
Campers forced to evacuate from sites along the rising riverbank, including at the all-girls summer camp, Camp Mystic, where officials say more than 20 campers are still missing.
Right now, the only concern we have is rescuing everybody and all these kids out here.
Storms also battering the Northeast overnight. Officials say at least 3 people were killed in Plainfield in central New Jersey after trees fell on their vehicles.
Normally it takes me 5 minutes to get home. It took me 45 minutes to get home. There's trees down everywhere.
Winds in the region gusting to more than 60 miles per hour, taking down tree limbs and power lines. More than 110,000 households without power from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts. And the danger in central Texas is far from over. Officials warning that rising runoff can make an already disastrous situation even worse. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Shalom. Giving all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect, that are scattered abroad across the 4 winds of the earth. And the Most High, he's not playing. He's not finna play with you people. 4th of July, judgment was going out. And, some people still have the nerve to get proud. But the Most High, for the most part, he's raining on your mirth. Your feast days, your celebrations, your mirth. The Lord is he's nipping that in the bud. All right, and there's more to come. Right, there's just we're in the beginning of sorrows right now. So we're in a phase of the Most High bringing calamity upon these people. Visiting them with extreme weather. And I believe on the left-hand side, the Most High is using Esau to wage weather warfare. And I think it's happening around the world. All these massive floods, these landslides. It's happening in multiple places all throughout the world. All right. You got lightning strikes striking a bunch of people. You got all these different events happening. But according to some people, we're not getting close. We're not at the end. You know, we still got, you know, the Lord ain't gonna come, you know, till, you know, the generations from now. You know, my grandchildren, you know, he'll probably come in their time. But look at how much is happening in a short span of time, and how time is actually starting to speed up. You know, I did a lesson the other day on how the scientists are starting to see that since 2020, you know, time has sped up significantly. All right, and you know, days are starting to become shorter, and it's due to all this activity that we're seeing happening in the earth. A lot of seismic activity, extreme weather patterns. You know, the vibrations is what is it's contributing to the rotation speed of the earth, and the gravitational pull from, you know, the moon. You know, so it's a lot of wonders that the Lord said would happen in these last days. All right, along with judgment. So this is more judgment going out. So this situation in Texas, all right, a lot of people was losing homes. A lot of people had to be evacuated. You also had some students that was out camping. You know, they had a summer camp, and there's still, you know, 20 plus girls that are still missing. All right. So this was strong enough to, you know, clear areas, you know, sweep homes away. You see a footage of a whole cabin, looks like, or a whole trailer or a cabin, you know, being washed away with people inside of it. So, yeah, it's getting real out here, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Esau's using his geoengineering technology. All right, they have what you call cloud seeding, where they can actually engineer and generate rain clouds artificially. Pretty sure y'all know about Dubai last year when they got flooded out, and they was trying to say that it wasn't the cloud seeding, but you know, it doesn't. This type of pattern, it doesn't come that this rare like this. All right, let's just demonstrate. And this is just a minute clip. This is from 7 years ago. All right, where they actually have footage of them running a test, so they can easily manipulate the weather.
Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I couldn't even hear myself. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. I told you. It's raining. That's unbelievable. Oh. NASA's playing God. It's making its own.
So obviously they have the technology. So I wouldn't put it past them using it, you know, for obvious reasons. They always use weather warfare when they got their eyes on a piece of land that they want. So, you know, they'll scare you with the climate change agenda, say that it's, you know, different activities, that's the cause, and this is why we gotta clamp down on, you know, the use of, you know, carbon emission, you know, so on and so forth. And this is, you know, all this is going to do is continue to, you know, ruin your farmland, your vegetation. All right, people lose homes. You know, that's ultimately what happens. So ultimately, this, let me get a quick script. The Heavenly Father, he gave them that on the left-hand side. This is Isaiah 45 and verse 9. I'm going to read it in the NLT. And it says, Salakia 7. Isaiah 45 and 7, it says, I create the light and make the darkness. I send good times and bad times. I, the Lord, am the one who do these things. And we're coming into that bad time now. All this disastrous weather. Isaiah 45 and 7 in the AMP, it says, the one forming light and creating darkness, causing peace and creating disaster. I, the Lord, who does all these things. So if there be disaster done in the city, was it not the Lord that did it? Was that Amos 3 and 6? Yeah, Isaiah 3 and 6 in the AMP, it says, if a trumpet is blown in a city, warning of danger, will not the people tremble? If a disaster or misfortune occurs in a city, has not the Lord caused it? Because this technology wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side. All right? So this is really just anger of the Lord. And he's causing that mirth to cease with all these type of, incidences. These people out here celebrating and popping fireworks. But you got, dust storms. You got, geoengineered floods, ruining whole towns and washing homes, down the street with powerful enough winds to, knock trees down on a house. You got people dying, people missing, unaccounted for. So it's a lot, and we haven't hit hurricane season just yet. We're coming upon hurricane season. And how devastating is that going to be? So this is just the beginning of the Lord's work on this place. All right, let me get this in Job 38 real quick. Let me this is Job 38, and I'll start at verse 24. It says, where is the way that the light is distributed, or the east wind scattereth over the earth? Who has prepared a channel for the torrent of rain, and for the flood, or a path for the thunderbolt? Who's causing that? The Lord. The Lord, he has his angels, all right, that hearken unto his commands. And, anytime there's a storm, or, a rainstorm, a tsunami, hurricane, there's always so-called UFO activities, right before, during, or after the event happening. Because that's the power that they have, that the Lord gave his holy angels. All right, and they all act on behalf of the Heavenly Father to keep things going. For judgments. So this is all the Lord's doing ultimately. All right, and the Lord, he's a terrible power, man. All right, and he's in the midst of making examples. He's bringing that mirth down. Psalm 66, y'all want to celebrate something, celebrate this. Psalm 66 and 5. Psalm 66 and 5, it says, come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. And he is terrible. Okay. He showed he was terrible with the the plagues that he sent upon Egypt. He made an example out of them. Where we at currently? We're in modern Egypt. Now, we're not in the land of Martezarian, but we're in the land spiritually called Egypt. And the Lord is, he said he would, bring the plagues as before. So we're going to start seeing wondrous things done from the Heavenly Father, man, because he's fed up. All right. And that's ultimately what's happening. Judgment is going forth. And all these people getting visited, whether it's by the sword. All right. You got pestilence. You got, weather warfare. All these things are taking place. So, yeah, that's bad, And Texas is a big state. I think the brothers are good down in the state. It seemed like this just ruined a area where there happen to be predominantly Edomites. Which Edomites, right now they showing their ass, man. So of course, when tragedy strikes them, we don't feel a damn thing. All right. But hey, Esau, he doesn't mind the elite Edomite. They don't care if they sacrifice their own people. They'll wage war on their own. All right. So, yeah. There's probably some Edomites whose lives were lost. All right. And Jake, they got their own troubles, but everybody's finna go through something. This time of tribulation, everybody is basically in trouble. All right. You're under the conditions of, troublous times. So, yeah, this is straight up judgment. All right. And I'm pretty sure this ain't the end of it, because this behavior of the weather is increasing worldwide. All right. So, prepare to see more, as Esau's trying to make this, transition into his new global order. Everything is going biometric. Everything is going AI, digital. So we see the timing that he's on. We're not ignorant of Shaitan's devices. So all we can do is continue to stay circumspect and watch and send up as much prayer as possible. So, yeah, man. I'm glad a lot of judgment was going out. People's houses on fire. I'm pretty sure a lot of that happened. Of course, there was some shootings here and there. The one nigga, showing how, degeneracy and folly is exalted in this society. But there was some Crip nigga named 4 Extra, for being on No Jumper. He blew his freaking hand off over a firework. So, good for it, for a nigga. Good for a nigga like that, man. Playing with fireworks, knowing the dangers and the risk. Out there acting like straight up coons, celebrating a day that had nothing to do with you. You didn't get the victory over anything. You're not independent. So, yeah, we're not in darkness like others. And when you're in darkness, you happen to be asleep. And you can't watch, what the enemy is doing. You're not in position to see. So, yeah, man, let me get that in Romans real quick and we'll close out on that. Romans 13:11, it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us not walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, like they was more than likely doing last night, because a lot of people are upset about this bill that Trump had signed off. But you wasn't going to do nothing about it. People was acting like there was going to be an attack or whatever. which they still putting it into your mind at any given time. They can, you know, cause a FF and lock shit down and, you know, put people into these detention centers and put people in alligator Alcatraz and shit like that. But for the most part, these people rather just, you know, enjoy bread and circus and drink, pop fireworks, eat, drink, complain, drink some more. That was all y'all was going to do yesterday. And judgment was going out either way. It says, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put you on the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. And that's what they do on these particular days. Okay. So yeah, you know, you don't want to get caught in the dark, man. And these people that are still asleep, they're taking L's, man. They're losing. All right. As a matter of fact, you see this right here. This is from Channel 3 News. It says Las Vegas Fire and Rescue response to 293 incidents over July 4th holiday. So they responded to 293 emergency incidences. See that? Nobody was up to any good, I'm pretty sure. And all these idiots with these fireworks. During the 10 hours, the department addressed a variety of emergencies, including 2 burn injuries, 116 outside fires, and 7 building fires. Idiots. And good for them, man. So, yeah, y'all continue to be in darkness. All right, and while the Most High is he's taking away your mirth. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Until the next one, Shalom.